Hello, I am Jay, and this is Relax with Jay. I create calming videos that allow you to relax and or drift off to sleep. If you enjoy my videos and find them helpful, please hit the like button, subscribe, and click on the notification bell. I hope you enjoy this video and may it bring you restful sleep. Tonight, I'll be reading the third and fourth chapters of the book called Lady Susan by Jane Austen. If you enjoyed these chapters and would like me to read more, please let me know. Chapter 3. Miss Vernon to Lady de Courcy, Churchill. My dear mother, I am very sorry to tell you that it will not be in our power to keep our promise of spending our Christmas with you, and we are prevented that happiness by circumstance which is not likely to make us any amends. Lady Susan, in a letter to her brother-in-law, has declared her intention of visiting us almost immediately, and as such a visit is all in all probably merely an affair of convenience. It is impossible to conjecture its length. I was by no means prepared for such an event, nor can I now account for her length and ladyship conduct. Langford appears so exactly the place for her in every respect, as well from the elegant and expensive style of living there, as from her particular attachment to Mr. Wainwaring, that I was very far from expecting so speedy a distinction, though I always imagined from her increasing friendship for us since her husband's death that we should at some future point he obliged to receive her. Mr. Vernon, I think, was great deal too kind of her when he was in Staffordshire. Her behavior to him, independent of her general character, has been so inexcusable, artful, and ungenerous since our marriage was first in agitation, that one less amicable and mild than himself could have overlooked it all. And though, as his brother's widow, and in a narrow circumstances, it was proper to render her pecuniary assistance, I cannot help thinking his pressing invitation to her to visit us at Churchill perfectly unnecessary. Disposed, however, as he always is to think the best of everyone, her display of grief, the professions of regret, and general resolution of prudence was sufficient to soften his heart and make him really confide in her sincerity. But as for me, I am still unconvinced, and possibly, as her ladyship has now rewritten, I cannot make up myself mind till I better understand her real meaning in coming to us. You may guess, therefore, my dear ma'am, with what feelings I look forward to her arrival. She will have the occasion for all those attractive powers for which she is celebrated to gain any share of my regard, and I shall certainly endeavour to guard myself against her influence, if not accompanied by something more substantial. She expresses a most eager desire of being acquainted with me, and makes very gracious mention of my children, but I am not quite weak enough to suppose a woman who has been behaved with inattention, if not with unkindness, to her own children, should be attached to any of mine. Miss Vernon is to be placed at a school in London before her mother comes to us, which I am glad of, for her sake and my own. It must be to her advantage to be separated from her mother, and a girl of 16, who has received so wretched an education, could not be very desirable companion here. Reginald has long wished, I know, to see the captivating Lady Susan, and we shall depend on his joining our party soon. I am glad to hear that my father continues so well, and am, with best love, Catherine Vernon. Chapter 4. Mr. de Courcy to Miss Vernon, Parksland. My dear sister, I congratulate you and Mr. Vernon on being about to receive into your family the most accomplished coquette in England. As a very distinguished flirt, I have always been taught to consider her, but it has lately fallen in my way to hear some particular of her conduct in Langford, which prove that she does not confine herself to that sort of honest flirtation which satisfy most people, but aspire to the most delicious gratification of making a whole family miserable. By her behavior to Mr. Mainwaring, she gave jealousy enriched to my wife and his wife, and by her attention to a young man previously attached to Mr. Mainwaring's sister, deprived an amicable girl of her lover. I learned all this from Mr. Smith. Now in this neighborhood, I have dined with him at Hurst and Wilford, who is just come from Langford, where he was fortnight with her leadership, and who is therefore well qualified to make the communication. What a woman she must be! I long to see her, and shall certainly accept your kind and kind invitation, that I may form some idea of those bewitching powers which can do so much, engaging at the same time and in the same house the affections of two men who are neither of them at liberty to bestow them, and all of this without the charm of youth. I am glad to find Miss Vernon does not accompany her mother to Churchill, as she has not even manners to recommend her, and according to Mr. Smith's account, is equally dull and proud. Where pride and stupidity unite, there can be no dissimulation worthy notice, and Miss Vernon shall be consigned to unrelenting contempt. But by all that I can gather, Lady Susan possesses a degree of captivating deceit, which it must be a pleasing to witness and detect. I shall be with you very soon, and am ever your affectionate brother, Mr. de Rousseau Curuzzi.